Hello and welcome to this edition of Diaspora Central. I am GIl Ingles, and with us today in the studio, ladies and gentlemen, it's a man that normally you'll find him behind the cameras, and this time he's definitely on a hot seat because he's also an author. He goes by the name of Reward James Akpire.
Yeah. How you all doing today?
Mr. Reward, welcome to Diaspora Central.
Thank you, Mr. GIl. Appreciate it. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, I'm glad to have you here, man.
I know.
Yeah.
We've been trying to get this thing
Right.
going.
Yeah. I mean, you are one of those individuals making that transition from behind the camera to the front of the camera very slowly but surely.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough. I never knew it was this tough. I usually tell people, be louder, expressivo or something.
Yeah.
But right now, I'm
do
like,
something. Yeah.
I'm
Catching up
zone
with
right now.
Yeah, but get that mic much closer to you, man, because
right.
we want to capture everything. You can pull the mic towards you.
Alrighty.
Yeah. Mobile adjust
Thank you.
yourself. Feel comfortable. We're gonna be here for a minute.
Let's
We
do
got
this.
plenty to talk about.
Let's do this.
It won't be 50 things,
Yes, we'll try.
but it will be close to 50 something.
We'll try. We'll try.
Talking about 50 things, man. Wedding,
Whoops. Yes, whoops it is.
man. Whoops, that it is.
That's right.
And that topic is right on time.
Yeah, I know. Especially now,
Yeah.
there's a whole lot going on. We're going through a different phase of marital pandemic that people are not paying attention to, and it's gradually creeping into the global community.
Yeah.
It needs to be addressed. It needs to be talked about, because what we're passing to the next generation right now is very toxic.
Marital pandemic.
That's right. That's the name. That should be the name of a TV show.
Yeah.
I'm thinking. I don't know. Maybe.
Ideas. Ding, 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 ding. I see that light bulb going on right now, but that's definitely great. But you know what? Listen, here at Diaspora Central, we normally like to start with accolades, and I will start that way, my friend.
Okay.
One of the things that I definitely admire about you, man, you are a man that can keep time. And I'll tell you, okay? No, I'm being very honest with you. I'll tell you. People who can keep time, and that talks to your production values. You know why? Because most producers know that when you're not on time, you're spending money, you're wasting money.
Time is money.
Because once everyone is in that set and they're ready to go,
Yep.
they definitely ready to go.
Go.
Whether you're there or you're not, it's showtime for them, because that cash is going out.
Rolling.
And once that cash stops, budget is over. Game over.
The worst thing you want to do is to go back to your sponsors and ask for more money.
Right. Because what you got, by that point, what you got, you got.
Yep. That's right.
If you don't have it, we're done.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things
Sweet.
that I definitely admire about you, man.
Thank you.
I
Appreciate
admire that in you, and I admire the fact that you're forcing all of us who have sometimes the bad habit of not caring much about time, especially those of us who tend to be a bit creative sometimes. We find creative ways of not being on time.
Yeah. I get that a lot. So many versions.
Several versions of that, right? Yeah. But very good ethic,
Thank you.
right?
Thank you.
Man full of ethics.
Thank you.
Always well dressed up.
I tried.
Yeah, but that didn't start with you, though. That normally starts from somewhere. There's got to be someone that kind of created this Reward James, man. This had to be somebody else's reward eventually. They have to be either a mother, a father, a brother, a neighbor, a country, a teacher, someone. Somewhere.
My dad used to be a GQ. I'm about the same height with him. All my younger ones are taller than me.
Right.
But my dad, his strongest strength is dressing. The dude likes to dress.
There you go.
You know, sometimes when I look at him, like, yeah, that's my man. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? It
And
feels good. You want to be like your dad.
Exactly.
I think I picked it up from him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's
It started from
that
there.
strength right
It
there.
started
Of,
from there. And also working in the corporate too helps, because
Right.
you know, I worked in Manhattan for 11 years. Going to work every day is like
Right.
showtime.
There
You
you
have to
go.
look good. Everybody's looking fly. Your boys are looking fly.
Right.
They want to compliment you. Your tie,
Exactly.
man, I love your tie today.
Yeah.
Even when it feels good when your boss look at you and look at,
Exactly.
all right, I like your tie.
Yeah, or even
like, yeah, oh, for real? Okay, I'm going shopping.
yeah, yeah. It
So-
actually does help because I would
Yeah.
tell you when I started in the corporate world, it was funny because we were two African brothers at the time in the IT department, and believe it or not, we started to change the dressing culture for the entire company, right?
Yeah.
Because as you know, normally the IT departments stay very laid back,
Yes.
right? So most people were on jeans, t-shirts, polo shirts and things like that. And this brother from Ghana, his name is Kofi Aduse. Okay. And I was always a person that liked to dress up.
Okay.
But I'll be very honest with you. As a kid, even as a young man, I didn't quite fully understand the difference between corporate dressing and dressing up just to look good, right?
True.
Until I actually met Kofi.
Wow.
Kofi is the brother that actually I start to watch, and then I have to really go to school and figure this thing out. So I'm starting to now read like GQ magazine and stuff like that to figure out, because Kofi at the time, aside from being an IT guy, he also was working at I think it was Hex. There was his part-time gig.
Hex. What's
Yeah,
that?
Hex is a department store.
okay, department
Yeah, it used
store.
to be
Yeah,
a
I'm
department
figuring,
store.
yeah,
Yeah, I think it
definitely.
was either Hex or
You probably got it
Nordstrom.
from
I don't
there.
remember, one of the two. But anyway, one thing is for sure. This dude was the guy who even taught me how to get the thread count on the shirts and the clothes, the type of, when it's wool,
count.
this, and thread count, the type of fabric, the type of wool, and
Wow.
those are things that I learned with him, and from that point on, I kind of became someone who sort of started to understand how to dress well to be in a corporate world, how to dress like business, and then how to dress like fun. I knew how to dress like fun, but I didn't definitely know how to dress like business until I met Kofi.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, and I give him that credit, so that's an accolade also to him.
All right, to you, Kofi.
Yeah, Ghana.
You already know.
Indeed, man. There was sort of like my big brother right there in the corporate world going in. Although I did work also with two ladies, Aretha Calloway and Annie Green. Wow. Those two ladies also very professional, very well dressed. Beverly Jones also, she was our manager. Another lady very well dressed, always in the corporate. She
Nice.
one day on Friday, I think on Fridays, like I said, it was normally jeans day and this and that and whatever. And I think that one Friday I had worn a pair of jeans and some kind of a jacket that it was not like. And I remember Ann came to me and she said, "Listen, although you see everyone else that way, you don't have to be that way. Remember,
That's right.
okay?
That's
It's
right.
still a work day.
You're the superstar
Friday,
of yourself.
yeah, Friday is still a work day. So come in like you're coming in for work."
Yeah.
I was
I
like,
like that.
"Yes, ma'am." Yeah, I was like, "Yes, ma'am." So from that point on, I was like, Monday through Friday, it didn't matter. I was
It changes
in.
people's perception about
Definitely.
who you are.
Yeah.
The way you carry yourself.
Definitely. And especially when you're that young. Because remember, they look at you, you look that young, and it's like everybody thinks that you're just about fun, right? You're not responsible, you're not this, you're not that. So, and those are things that she didn't say. But today, when I look back, I'm like, okay, now I understand what she was really trying to say. Yeah, you got to set that level of precedence and that perspective so that people are channeling into the right things versus anything else that may be going on.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah. But Diaspora Central today is about you. It's about Reward James. It's about the wedding whoops.
Yeah.
It's about the writer, the cameraman, the director, the producer.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. So let's start with country
I
of
want to
origin.
talk about you too.
That's another show.
I've worked with this brother for a couple of moments now. We've had good productions.
Yeah.
And I find you to be an honest person.
Thank you, sir.
The way you conduct yourself behind the scene. You're about your business.
Thank you,
You
sir.
know what you want. You're very particular
Yeah.
about what you want. Even when everybody thinks it's all right, everything sounds good,
Right.
but because of the kind of person you are, you're a perfectionist. You want some type of crispy sound, what you expect your audience to hear. You're not even
Yes,
thinking
sir.
about the people around the foreground, people around you. You're thinking about people on the internet because you
Yes,
believe
sir.
that there's 6 billion people
The-
on the
the-
internet,
the-
and you
the-
want them to hear
exactly.
certain experience. I
See,
love that about you.
these are
That's-
these are the people that normally you cannot justify to.
yeah, you're right.
You know what I mean?
right.
You can never tell them, well, the reason why was because that was happening. No. Let's get it
I
right.
shoulda, coulda, woulda. No,
Yeah.
no.
Let's get it right. Yeah.
I love that about
One
you.
shot, let's
And
go.
You're a good man. I
Indeed.
appreciate you.
Thank you, sir. Likewise, man. Likewise. And hopefully we got plenty more of stuff
Yes,
coming up.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely. We
Yeah.
do. We do. Yeah.
I mean, major building force around this area right here. And for that, let's give a shout out to said institute for really
Said
being
Institute,
the right.
Society of the Africa in the Diaspora, Debo Floro Show.
Yeah.
You already know. You're doing a great job, man. That brother is a force on its own, man.
Indeed.
Good job.
Indeed. And communities need that.
Yeah, we need that.
Communities
we
need that.
community base.
Right.
We need to, especially us African, we need to get out of that cultural mindset sent into a communal mindset. You know,
Right.
so when we have that cultural perspective, we're always
Looking at ourselves.
condensing everything
Yeah.
within us.
Yeah,
And that's
within our
why the
own
other
tribe,
community
our
have-
own
Yeah.
kingdom,
We
our
got
own
stuck on it.
country. Yeah,
And it's a disease.
indeed. Yeah, well, look at it.
affecting us.
It has affected us up to now, right? It'll take some of us to start changing that.
It's not about
There you
this.
go.
It's about
Yeah,
mindset.
gotta be visionaries, man. Gotta be
all right,
visionaries.
that's another subject.
Yeah, indeed. But country of origin.
From Nigeria. West
Nigeria.
Africa. Yep. In
What
Nigeria.
city? What town? What?
Nigeria. Lagos, Nigeria. I'm originally from Delta State, Shekiri, but I was raised in Lagos. I started my career in Lagos. I actually started my career in Lagos as a dancer, street dancer. I became the best dancer in Nigeria years back.
And what was your name? What was your dancing name?
Oh my God, I had so many names.
Yeah?
I won a couple of
The one,
competitions.
let's go for the one that you're mostly known for.
They call me Shrimp. They call
Okay.
me Scooby.
Wow.
Some call me Machiavelli. I have so many names.
Yeah.
And they also call me Kilo Day. My neighborhood, they call me Kilo Day.
Kilo
like
Day.
Anytime I go to work and when I'm coming back, you see all the kids in my neighborhood because I live in this gated community.
Right.
In a place called Obanikoro.
Okay.
As soon as I just get into the gate, you see all these kids coming to because they see me on TV and all that.
Right.
Uncle Kilo Day, Uncle Kilo Day. Oh my God. I just got that's how I acquired that name. So but
Yeah.
it's just fun. I just love to give back. But anyway, that's how I started. I started my career as a dancer.
Okay.
Then I went into choreography. Then I choreographed so many shows, TV shows,
Okay.
road tapes. Sunday Rendezvous back then. I don't know if people can still remember that.
Yeah.
And I also choreographed the beauty pageant of Nigeria.
Okay.
Most beautiful girl in Nigeria, Miss Intercontinental Beauty Pageant with Ben Bruce, Silverbird, and he's now Senator Ben Bruce. He actually trained me.
Okay.
And Mr. Philip Trimnell discovered me when it comes to television production.
Wow.
He taught me everything I know about television production today. He gave me the fundamentals
Yeah,
of
the
television
basics.
production. Yeah. So through that, I was able to direct
There you
best
go.
music video in Nigeria.
Okay.
Before I left, with like music video like Wed MC,
Right.
Mike Okri, Alexo, Sonny Neji. This gave me
There you
put
go.
me for trouble. I did
Yeah.
a couple of stuff. I had fun. Yeah, it was nice.
Fully based. You're not just smoke coming out. No, got real fire in there.
Well, yeah, I paid my dues.
Yeah.
I paid my dues.
Yeah,
you know.
and that's the good thing because people say the real recognizes real, and that's one of the good things about you. It's like whenever you see someone real, even when they talking trash, they'll talk trash, but then you can tell when they like humble on their level, and they stay on that position because they know when it gets to their turn, they're gonna deliver what they need to deliver, right? A game time is game time.
I'll throw the weights on you if you want me to, but I always hold back.
Right.
But I try to be humble.
There you go. And that's one of the things that especially for those of us Africans, I guess people say that we brag too much.
I know.
Yeah. Yeah, but
especially from where I come from.
Oh yeah, Nigerians.
Yeah, if you're not my purview, if you're not there,
Nigerians. If you don't see it,
I don't like.
I
would like to go through any water. I believe I can do it. Everybody's doing it. I want to do better.
There you go.
So,
competitive.
Yeah, but in a different perspective.
Right.
Yeah, because that can lead to strive as well.
Right.
But I just want to be on my own lane, tell my story, and walk my work.
There you go. Yeah. And on that base, you know what? Let's go ahead and start telling your story, but actually allowing our viewers to take a look at some of that good content that you got out there. Because after all, we can talk all we want to talk until we show them something.
That's right.
They won't believe it, right? So we'll be right back. Let's take a very quick break, and let's take a quick look at the first piece of content by Reward James Akpiri.
You got it.
Akpiri. And we are back. Definitely Mr. Reward James right here on Diaspora Central with us. If you just joined us, I am GIl Ingles, and our guest is Reward James, the author of Wedding Whoops.
50 Things Not to Do in Your Big Tag.
Now, that was a nice trailer.
Yeah.
So, I don't even want to jump into that yet because it's too early. I kind of want to get back into going from Nigeria into the States, going from behind the camera into the front of the camera until we get into that. But before I do that, though, there's one question that I have to get answered. Maybe we do this in a reverse order. Actually, let's do it in a reverse order. Can we do that?
Let's do it. Yeah, let's go.
Since the trailer was hot, let's go ahead and reverse from the trailer now back into Nigeria. Can we do that?
Yeah, we could do it. Well, you could do whatever you
All right,
want.
indeed.
You're GIl, man.
This is Diaspora Central. No, Diaspora Central is us.
Yeah, you're right.
It's the whole diaspora.
Yeah,
yes, sir. Yeah. It is us. I'm just one of the portals. That's all.
Yeah, you're the voice from the wilderness.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. I'm speaking for y'all. See, you got me talking trash now.
It's all right.
But let's kind of get into the inspiration for Wedding Whoops.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Wedding Whoops.
Yeah.
Where do I start from? The beginning is the best place to start from. The genesis of this project started from when I got married.
Okay.
I came to the United States. Initially, I told you when I came from Nigeria, right. I was already a director, also a choreographer.
Right.
So, but when you go into another country, it's like starting your life all over again.
Yeah.
And as of that time, I didn't have all my documents, so I started using my skills on the street.
Right.
Recording weddings and all that, making sure I'm, gets both ends meet.
Right.
And I was by myself.
Yeah.
And
survival mode.
Yeah, survival mode. You know how that goes.
Yes, sir. That's refugee camp 101.
And initially, I have never thought about writing books because I came the mindset I had coming from back home. Right. I realized that as an African, when I saw Lion King, I felt some type of way when somebody else is telling my story, and that kind of bothered me a lot.
Okay.
So me leaving Africa, I wanted to come to UCLA to study special effect and animation and special effect because I have a lot of stories. And the big problem with Africa is we don't document our stories. All our stories now becomes what we call the lost editorials.
There you go.
So
that's a title. That's a title of a book in itself.
I have a project like that.
There you go.
So I'm working on so many pieces. But anyway, that's the mindset I had. I never thought about even back home they call me, even the newspaper call me the Spike Lee of Nigeria. I
There you
came
go.
to America at the peak of my career.
Right.
So I thought when I come here, I was going to meet Spike Lee, I'm going to meet Steven Spielberg,
Yeah.
and all that. I was feeling funky with myself.
And you're right in New York City, so come on, Spike's got to be in there.
I met Spike one time.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, Spike, what's up? He's like, hey.
Yeah.
He don't know who I am, but they call me Spike Lee of Nigeria then. But I was able to meet. I met him at NYU though.
There you go.
Because I met him a couple of times at NYU. So
Right.
I worked in NYU for 6 years. I also took classes. He taught me. I took a couple of classes from him. But anyway,
Gotcha.
so what happened? My wedding day.
Yeah.
While I was doing the recording weddings and all that with a couple of production companies called, I don't know if I should call their names.
You can if you want to give him a shout out.
Yeah,
this
shout
is
out
an
to Alan
opportunity
Ryder
too.
Studio. Mr.
Yeah.
Alan Ryder is a genius, one of my mentors. I appreciate you, sir, for teaching me everything I know when it comes to wedding interpretation of the 24th century. And I also want to give shout out to Celebration Studios, though they packed up now, but they give me that fundamentals when I came in here to America because I never understood the business of weddings.
Right.
I thought it's something good because I'm used to, want to do wedding.
Right.
I would just carry the camera and record it.
Yeah.
But you need to understand there's a difference with cameraman
Exactly.
and a videographer.
Exactly.
The job of a videographer is to record event.
Exactly.
The job of a cameraman, he
Is to
usually
shoot.
interprets what the story is about.
Yeah.
So Celebration Studios and Alan Ryder's the studios, they made me to understand those perspective. Thank you very much. But anyway, so that's how it started. My wedding, my personal wedding.
Yeah.
This is a big one.
Okay.
My personal wedding was canceled twice.
Your wedding was canceled
My
twice.
wedding day was canceled twice. People.
Now, hold on.
I know. That's why
I guess when a wedding gets canceled, who cancels it? Is it you or the bride?
it was canceled by the pastor of the church. I'm not going to call the name.
Okay.
And
What was the reason?
she was pregnant.
The
And we
wife,
we-
the future wife.
She was my girlfriend at that time.
Okay, the
you know,
girlfriend.
So we,
the
we did
bride.
nasty,
The
yeah.
bride. Okay.
So she became pregnant. Oops, baby.
Okay.
So at that time, I was more like I was working in the church as a cameraman. I was also doing wetting the plants every day. You know,
Right.
making sure everything runs well.
Yeah.
You know, and then when that happened, I became. They started looking at me as Lucifer, like, oh my God, you've committed crime and everything.
Wow.
So I went to meet the pastor. That look, she's pregnant. What are we gonna do and whatnot? So he advised us to keep it very quiet.
Okay.
We don't want it to bring shame to the church, and I understand all that. You know, things
Okay.
happens. You know, so
Yeah.
So then we decided instead of doing a very big wedding, so we decided that let us do a wedding that will probably, take about 40 people.
Very
Just a
private
small
one.
Private wedding, no big noise.
Yeah.
All the food, everything was paid for and everything. 2 days to the weddings. We were supposed to do the rehearsals. The church was locked. They couldn't let us in to do rehearsals,
Okay.
So it was tough,
So what was the reason for them locking the church?
Yeah, they said there was no among the 5 pastors in the church, there was nobody available for them
To
wed
perform
us.
the ceremony.
Yeah, and everybody knew about it like a month before that time.
Wow.
So it was a tough night. We went home, and she was like 3 months pregnant at that time.
Yeah.
And
So that's time number one.
we went home.
Yeah.
It was a dark night. The day of the wedding, they were turning people back that the wedding was postponed.
Wow.
It's just, it was crazy. And I just newly
Yeah.
came into the country then.
Yeah.
So he gave me a bad taste about America. That was my first American heat.
Yeah.
So even the one that even got me most was people that I called my friends, people who are close to us, who
Right.
admire everything that we do, being together.
Yeah.
They distance themselves away from us. When they see us coming, they act like they don't see us.
Oh,
Even when
wow.
we sit in the church,
Right.
you know the pew. When you sit in the pew,
Indeed.
people who sit in front and
Right.
back will be the only one in the church, and they sit throughout the end of the service. It was crazy.
Oh, wow.
We went through
But
that.
was all that due to the pregnancy? The early pregnancy?
yeah.
Hold on.
They-
What denomination is this? I mean, not to.
I've moved.
You moved beyond that.
beyond that, but
Okay.
I don't. It's a non-denomination church.
Non-denominational.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, but
Non-denominational
man,
church.
I'm just
It was,
and I'm simply asking this from I understand sometimes that okay, the church has a certain rule or certain rules that they must of course be followed, right? But on the same set of rules also comes the angle of forgiveness, which is the whole basis of Jesus Christ, right?
yeah.
But let's go on.
But anyway,
We
I don't
yeah
want to make. I don't want to be too
yeah
religious, but
indeed.
that's how it started. So we went home. It was a dark night for us, and few people that loves us called us to just calm us down and all that. But one thing about us then, instead of running away from God or the church because what we were treated,
Right.
we kept on going to the church because it's something that we needed to fix or a cross
Yeah.
we needed to carry.
Yeah.
So after a while, when we even tried to see the pastor, I don't know if he was still mad at us at that time. It took him about a month and a half to give us the audience to speak to us.
Okay.
Then we decided that I just wanted to do it right. I wanted it to be blessed. I wanted to be blessed. At that
Right.
moment. I believe in God at that time, though I fell short, but I just still wanted to do it right. And I just newly came. I don't have a lot of friends, people.
Right.
So he finally gave us the audience to do the wedding in his office,
Okay.
private. So
Okay.
he cautioned us that he didn't like what happened. We apologize, sorry
Okay.
about that. That was going to wed us in his office,
Okay.
keep it quiet and all
Now,
that.
now a question, and I know that the audience
all in
right
the
now,
book, chapter 11.
right? And
You want me to give all this away?
No. We don't want to give it all. We don't want to give it all away, but we gotta give a little bit of sequence here into the thing. Where did you guys meet? Is that something that you can give away? Did you guys
We
meet
met
at
in
the church?
We met in the church.
Oh.
We met in the church.
Okay.
So we met in the
So
church.
yeah, so
was
at that
how
point, I can kind of see why he's feeling.
Yeah, he's
sort of
feeling like
responsible.
maybe
So
I came from Africa.
so
I'm
this
impregnated his daughter.
this story's got a lot of ends, man.
That is just one story out of 50. But anyway, but I don't want people to feel sorry for me because
No.
of that.
No. It's you sharing a good experience because trust you and me, I'm sure that there's 1,000, if
lot
not a
of people
million,
going through
and
that
one other
in the
individuals
church
going
today,
through
going
this.
through this pain.
Right.
And one thing about this, the reason why I wrote this book, it affected my son as well, mentally, psychologically, because one marital mistake that you make
Right.
can affect 4 generations if you don't choose right.
Right.
All right, let me not go too deep, but
Yeah.
but the second time we're supposed to just marry in the church, in his office.
Yeah.
We're supposed to marry about 3:00. We kept calling the pastor. He never picked up his phone from 1:00 till, and I'm well dressed. My mother-in-law was there.
Right.
Sisters, my few friends, all tucked up, ready to go get married.
No pastor.
No pastor. He never picked up his
No
phone.
show, no call.
He was supposed to marry about 3:00, 4:00.
And that's the small wedding that is supposed to happen in his office.
In his office, yes.
Hold on. Where is this pastor from?
I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. It's in the book. It's in the book.
It's in the book.
Chapter 11.
Listen.
So
wedding whoops.
Wedding whoops. That's the genesis of this thing. So
Right.
as a videographer, when I go to record any wedding, I see wedding from a different perspective.
So-
It became a nudge to me. So the things people don't usually see from back
Right.
scene, from behind the scene, I see everything. The journalistic instinct inside me
Starts to
always
look
kicks
for-
in
Right.
anytime I'm recording a wedding. I see it from a different point of view.
Like let's tell you start looking for this story.
It's a story for me
Right.
as a journalist.
Yeah.
Then I see every wedding, even when I look, because as a videographer or wedding videographer, we're usually there before, during, and after
Right.
every wedding.
Right.
And sometimes they look at us like flies in the wall, like we don't matter.
Yeah.
But we see everything.
Right.
Sometimes I can even tell who is the boss in this relationship. I can even
Right.
tell if there is love in the relationship or
Right.
not. Because we see, even when everybody is gone,
Right.
I still have to
You're
deal
still
with them
looking at the-
one-on-one.
Yeah, you're
So
looking
it's
at that.
it's an interesting position to be at that moment. So I was absorbing everything in.
Indeed.
That was more like a healing process. I was finding a healing. I was looking for how to fill that vacuum
Yeah.
inside me to
Yeah.
to
How to find, I guess, resolution on your
that
own.
resolution, because that's
Yeah.
the way I was dealing with it.
Right.
I don't know how she was dealing with it. She was
Gotcha.
dealing with it in a different way, and I know it affected her a whole lot.
Right.
But that even affected the whole marriage. We didn't even stay for 3 years. After my son was born,
Wow.
it affected us. He became very toxic. She couldn't handle it. Guess what? She still goes to the church till date.
Whoa, man. Hold on. Let's take another quick break.
Chapter 11.
We got
Chapter
chapter 11
continue.
on the book.
You go read the rest.
And that book is definitely available. It's out there.
On
It
Amazon,
can be purchased.
on Amazon.
You can
Wedding
pick it up
Whoops,
from Amazon.
WHOOPS, or go on the website www.weddingwhoops.com. Please do not feel pity for me because of that. Because sometimes God allows certain things to happen to you so it can be a blessing to the next generation.
Exactly.
This has become a legacy building for me.
There you go.
I am obsessed when it comes to wedding day subjects.
Yeah.
I am constipated with wedding stories.
There you go.
I'll hold on to the next break.
Man, hey, we're going right into this break right here on Diaspora Central. If you just tuned in, of course, I am GIl Ingles, and our guest today is Reward James Akpiri, the author of Wedding Whoops, 50 Things Not to Do on Your Big Day.
Whoops it is.
We'll be right back.
Well, hello people. Welcome to Wedding Whoop. I'm your host, Pearl Osa, and I'm going to be taking you through 50 of the most crazy stories about behind the scenes in weddings. Today's episode is about a groom that, wait for it, gets arrested on his wedding day for child support.
Chapter 43. You're under arrest. This is the story of the lengths one baby mama, i.e. ex-wife, will go to prove a point. So before you decide to get married, get that part of your house in order to give your kids the best foundation you can.
Now, if that wasn't drama, I don't know what was. And as I said, I don't know how I could have handled that situation. Also, we've got the book on Amazon. 50 stories of crazy things that you never thought would have happened, but they all are real life stories on Wedding Whoops. Catch you next time. I'm your girl, Pearl Osa.
And we are back. If you've just joined us, you're now tuned into Diaspora Central with GIl Ingles, and our guest today is Mr. Reward James Akpiri, and he's sharing with us the 50 things that you should not do on your wedding day. 2 attempts to get married. No, 3 attempts, 2 failed ones that you already shared with us, or 2 cancellations.
No, it's just to the same person.
Still, right. I mean, I totally understand. Right, to the same bride. So 2, basically, wedding postponed twice.
Yeah.
And now you approaching the 3rd.
No, we just went to get married in the court, and we got it over with.
So you didn't even do the church,
No.
that church any longer?
No.
Wow.
So the following week, we just went to the courthouse registry to get married.
Okay. Now, did you ever show up in a church and tell the pastor that you were married?
I kept going to the church at that moment because I was so stubborn in my Christian journey. I didn't want to run away. Instead of running away from God, I wanted to keep on going to the church so I can receive the revelations.
Got you.
So, but it got to a point whereby I now realized that I was just going to fill the seat up. Nothing was coming in. I was looking at the pastor with hatred.
Yeah, and that's
everything
a problem.
that he was preaching or saying wasn't resonating with me, including the phony people who call themselves our friends, and no longer. It was a torture for us. So
it almost becomes like you sitting amongst hypocrites,
filling the seats.
Right.
So I stopped going to the church.
Right. So let me try to put this into some sort of a perspective, because sometimes and I want our audience to understand this, and this is not in any way
I know we're gonna make this a subject. Okay.
No, not a subject at all, because that's definitely part of the book, and that's the reason why people need to get this book and read this book. This is the genesis of this book. That's the reason why this book was written. And one of the things that I kind of would like to focus here, and this is just my personal analysis, is the fact that, guess what? In your own search for answers and resolution or conclusion to the whole issue, your therapy was to actually pen.
To write.
all of those things.
Yes, looking for other people who went through what I went through.
Right.
Interviewing people who was pregnant before marital moment, because the people, they make people feel like, though we know what the Bible says,
Right.
you shouldn't fornicate before the Bible, but when you do,
Right.
does it mean those children are going to hell? Are those children not going to be
Good
successful?
questions. Right.
Please Google it. So
Yeah.
many children from
It's a norm. It's something that does happen, and it happens a lot, and that's why, to me, I had previously mentioned forgiveness, because, but moving on,
Okay. Anyway,
you
I
interview
forgive-
several people.
Okay.
Right. I mean, from a personal note, we know that you definitely moved past it.
Yeah, after 5
Yeah.
years.
You have a book now that shows that you moved past it.
True.
You actually now helping other people move past similar situations.
Yes.
And give advice to those who may be moving towards it on how to avoid getting into those situations.
Yes.
Right.
So now, when all that happened, and then through my process of recording different weddings and dealing with different brides and groom and trying to get their stories and all that, then I realized that the person that you get married to is the intelligence of who you are.
Right.
Because you can't blame anybody tomorrow that the man that you got married to
Right.
was a fake man. You should
There
have
you
known
go.
that. You should have known those signs from the beginning. And especially now, we're trying to make sure we get married to the right person. Let me tell you something. Let us go deeper a little bit.
Yeah,
the
go
reason
on.
why this whole thing is really disturbing me as of date. The divorce rate on earth right now is 51%,
Statistics.
statistically.
Wow.
In the next 10 years, it's going to be 61%. And
Projections.
I've said it before, that COVID time was the lowest divorce rate ever recorded globally since 1970. Because
Really?
The divorce rate started rising up since 1970, and it has not gone down. And the reason why the COVID time was the recorded highest, lowest divorce rate, it
Okay.
was because courthouses were closed. Nobody could get divorced at that moment.
So what you say?
Excuse me. That was crazy.
That is a funny joke. This is a real joke, though.
Yes.
I was actually even up because I thought that because well, anyway.
Yes. So
Right,
it
go
was-
on.
So now my thing is, what are we passing to the next generation? Because it's not getting better; it's getting
Right.
worse. Especially in the X generation, TikTok generation.
Yeah.
People getting married on Zoom. People getting married drive by. What are we doing? Because the person you get married to
Right.
can either make you or break you.
Exactly.
So you have to choose right. So I believe with this book, I have 50 different reasons and different stories from 50 different brides. A 10-year research project I did.
Okay.
I collected stories of different bride and groom, interesting stories that I thought my touch people who wants to get married. I ended my research
Right.
on wedding day.
There
I
you
didn't want
go.
to talk about marriage.
Right.
That is not my calling.
Yeah.
I wanted to concentrate on the person that you pick as your lifetime partner.
Got you.
Because what we're passing to the next generation is not it. And we tend to every generation tend to blame the generation before them.
Right.
You understand?
Yeah.
Nobody wants to be accountable.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
does that mean we're passing a wrong baton to the next generation and we expect that? But let me also tell you, do you know that the second time marriages in America is higher than the first time marriages?
Oh, really?
Google it.
So there are more people that remarry than there are people
It's
who
higher.
actually get married
It's higher.
for the
That
first time.
sustains for a long time. Yes,
Yeah.
higher. And
Wow.
so what are we telling the next generation? Your
Yeah.
first marriage is just a
It's
nod.
training day.
It's
Training
a
day.
nod.
Training
So
day,
get
man.
ready for the second marriage.
Yeah, that's a training day.
Well, that's why I called it a marital pandemic.
Yeah.
Because this thing is creeping into our society and destroying our children.
Wow.
Because mentally, psychologically, spiritually, it's affecting our children and the way we do things.
Right.
If we can be conscientious of who we get married to, the fundamentals of understanding the fundamentals of that unionship
Of
I
marriage.
think it will work.
Yeah.
Though I know there are so many TV shows, radio programs, and all that.
Yeah.
A lot of this, I am getting ready for the next book.
Okay.
I don't want to reveal it, but
There you go.
But I went in a little bit, and I think people usually get disappointed about the picture they painted in their head about how they want their marital life to be, and if that expectation is not met,
Right.
they become angry, looking for
bitter.
a resolution,
Yeah.
and looking at you that you're
Looking
less.
for a
That's
guilty
my-
party. Yeah.
my original vision of what
Right.
a man and a woman
So someone's gonna have
should
to
be
pay.
like, and,
Yeah.
and I expressed that in the next book. But I want to concentrate on this book because
Yeah.
we're working on 50 TV shows. We're looking forward to go on TV.
Okay.
Right now we have the vlog. I just shot about 4 episodes just in case if you Google it, you
Got
see
you.
something. And we have
Gotta have pilots, man.
yeah,
Huh?
and we shot
A man who comes from behind the cameras can't stay away from the back of the camera
No,
for too
you
long,
have
right?
to- you have to.
Eventually, you gotta walk it.
You have to.
Indeed.
So I also did the video book.
Okay.
And the video book is something that came into me during the pandemic because I realized people don't read anymore.
Yeah.
So since we're in the TikTok generation, I condensed each of the chapter to 5 minutes so you can actually watch the entire episode chapter
Gotcha.
in 5 minutes. We shot the first episode
Right.
called "You're Under Arrest."
Okay.
This is a story.
You under arrest.
Yes, this
Wow.
is a story of a groom arrested for child support on his wedding day.
Man, hold
it's
on.
crazy.
Where can this be watched? Give us the
It's
details
on
of where
YouTube.
this stuff.
Just
This is right on YouTube on your channel.
on my channel.
So on the
Wedding
ticker
Whoops.
that we passing right under, if people go to it, they'll be
Wedding
able to
Whoops,
watch that.
You see, you are under arrest. Groom arrested for child support on his wedding day. That is just the first episode we shot on video book. We have 49 more episodes to go.
Got
So it's
you.
going to be a long journey.
Okay.
And the TV series is another different beast entirely.
Right.
We're looking for an agent to approach us. We're looking
Got
forward
you.
to 1 or 2 people, agents who we think might pick this thing up because
Yeah.
these issues needs to be addressed.
Gotcha.
We need to constantly be on people's face on knowing who you select because people marry for different reasons now.
Right.
For financial reasons, societal benefits, fake prophecy,
Right.
and all kind of stuff.
Wow.
People get married for all kind of reasons.
Yeah.
So Wedding Whoops. The reason of this book is not to talk about other people's mistakes.
There you go.
But the idea is for people to learn from the mistake that these people made so that it will not happen to them.
There you
But
go.
one thing that I also emphasized in the book, you can make mistake. It's okay to make mistake.
Right.
Because some of those mistakes later becomes a subject of conversation in a lifetime.
Right.
That is if you are in love with who you want to spend the rest of your life with.
Yeah.
It now becomes a topic to talk about or laugh about.
Learning lessons, man. Learning lessons. This thing turning into therapy here, huh? But you know that our audience loves this kind of talk, and they definitely love to check out the content. So let's go into another break and take a look at something else. What do you want to show them now?
Let's watch the You're Under Arrest.
You under arrest.
Yes.
All right. So let's take a very quick look at You Are Under Arrest, which is the first chapter of your
For the third chapter of the book.
third chapter of the book.
For the third.
43rd.
Yes.
So that's the 43rd chapter of the book. So there are 50 chapters in it.
Correct.
All right, and that's Wedding Whoops. And its author, Reward James Akpiri, right here on Diaspora Central. We'll be right back.
Weddings are supposed to be magical, the most exciting and memorable day in a couple's life. From the well-planned proposal to finding the perfect dress. It's supposed to be perfect. But when a groom is arrested for child support on his wedding day, now that's a no-no. But that's not all. Wedding Whoops, 50 things not to do on your big days. 50 dramatic wedding day stories like you've never heard before. Wedding Whoops, 50 things not to do on your big day.
And we are back. If you have just joined us, you're now tuned into Diaspora Central with GIl Ingles. And my guest today is Reward James Akpiri, the author of Wedding Whoops.
That's right.
50 things that you should not do on your big day.
Yep.
All right. By the way, you're under arrest. Very well done.
Thank you.
Yeah. That's your direction,
Yes, I directed
your
it.
production.
Yes.
Yeah.
I used I worked with Mercy Majo, a top Nollywood actress, and Michael Vivert, an upcoming Hollywood actor. Yeah, we had fun with that project
There you
because it
go.
was different. People not used to video book concepts,
Right.
and it's people beginning to gradually understand it, and hopefully they'll catch up to it.
Yeah, I think that's the way of the future.
Yeah.
Right.
Video
Because I mean,
streaming is the future.
Exactly. The
Yeah.
same way we went through audiobooks, now video books,
Video
eventually
yeah.
they'll become it. Because
Yeah.
when you're taking a long flight,
Yeah.
an audiobook doesn't do it for you anymore. You kind of want to look
wanna
at
see it
something, right?
visually.
Yeah.
The power sight of sound.
Exactly.
It
Because
sticks to your head.
otherwise you fall asleep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why streaming is so big. I mean, the pandemic really came to show that streaming is the future. There's
Yeah.
Now, as we rewinding back, of course, because we want to get back to Nigeria. So at that point, you actually in New York City, right, which ends up being your hometown here in the U.S. Initial,
Yes, I lived in New Jersey.
okay,
I worked in New York. I also lived in New York for a while too. I have home in New Jersey and New York. So
Got you.
So, but at the moment, I wanted to do something different.
Yeah.
So I needed to change my environment to cut off that noise.
There
There
you
was so
go.
much noise around me.
Yeah.
In New York, New Jersey. Despite my company, I have a company called Media Definition.
Okay.
I do a lot of projects within East Coast and West Coast. I do a lot of traveling. So, but I needed a place where it can be an haven for me to create and also to reduce a lot of noise.
Yeah, the distractions.
So, the distractions. So I've been in Houston for about 6 months now.
So
And,
you came to the new frontier.
yeah.
Yeah?
Though it's not a film environment.
No,
but
no.
I love it.
Well, you
because
know that the one thing about Houston, Texas, that many people don't know. This used to be the place where everyone that was going, because remember that even the initial individuals that migrated to this country came in through the east, right? Most of them came in through the east. Of course, there were the ones also that came from the South Pacific, right? But from the east, and Texas was the one place where they would stop prior to going to the
yeah.
West Coast,
Yes.
right? So is that the plan to eventually get to Hollywood?
Yeah, because actually I wanted to move to California. I was knocking on doors in California. I even Layla Steinberg, if you know who that is,
Okay.
she is the she discovered Tupac, and I got connected to him by my very good friend Femi Ojetunde, the award-winning Grammy
Right.
producer. So we kind of went through a couple of people in LA, and the executive producer Jimmy Kimmel was interested in the project.
Gotcha.
But he needed me to be on the ground. So when the pandemic hit, so I was just trying to create what I thought it would be good. So I
Right.
created two TV concepts, what the synopsis should look like and
Right.
everything. So when the pandemic hit, so I kind of changed my direction a little bit.
Gotcha.
So when most of my friends started moving to Houston, and I was like, okay, maybe Houston is a base. People
Right.
from New York moving to Houston, people from New York,
Yeah.
LA moving to Houston.
Yeah.
The only reason why people just gravitating towards Atlanta because it's his fame structure is because of Tyler Perry.
Right.
And now he's getting to, I'm not going to say it.
Uh,
But anyway,
it's,
to me personally, Houston is a good ground.
Right.
It's the future.
There you go.
And if people see it, and they will,
Yeah.
a lot of filmmakers are beginning to settle down here.
I mean,
Film directors are here.
and
in
I'll,
Houston.
I'll tell you one thing from a creative perspective. Houston gives you that peace of mind that you need to be able to focus, because you are not distracted with a lot of rap, or at least, I mean, now it's starting to become a lot busier than it used to, but it still allows you the space to be able to focus and be able to create with an intent. But anyway, so currently you basically shopping. You're still shopping this story.
Yes.
You're still trying to make certain things happen. Make sure that you can get either the television series, or that you can get backing for the video book.
The video book, the video book series, the TV series. I even have the feature film.
Okay.
That we've already written.
Okay, so
on the story.
Okay,
it's
so
crazy.
then you already have the script for even a full feature.
A feature, yes.
Okay, cool.
I've been working.
There you go, and that's what it is all about. I mean, if you're gonna do a project, you're gonna cover all the bases in this project. So the only thing I'm gonna ask you is one thing, and definitely make sure that you get me on the soundtrack for that movie. That's all I'm asking for. Allow me to at least bring in some of my folks into the soundtrack of the movie.
My soldiers is coming in.
Thank you.
One thing I want to clarify, because now there's this distinction of white or black thing. This is beyond the barrier of white or black.
Right, transcends
Everybody
race.
is going through it.
Yeah.
So I'm looking to expound on my base, which is my team. I have all kind of people that I work with. It don't matter who you are. Everybody has a lot to bring onto the table, and we've been doing that for a couple of years now. I have people who've been working together for the past 4 or 5 years now. We're all still together creating. Now we're changing the narrative of this project, because we already know what we're going to be doing in the next 10 years. We've already mapped it down.
Right.
So I look forward to a good team that will help us propel this project into the mainstream, so that our stories can be heard. Because it's not about us. It's about people who are healing out, who are suffering out there, people who have gone through all this pain that don't know how to deal with it.
Right.
Once they see that other people have gone through the same mistakes and all that, they'll find a safe haven to recognize or associate themselves with the healing process.
Indeed. Yeah, definitely. And there you have it, Mr. Reward James Akpiri. Now, let's kind of keep on rewinding this tape. So, of course, by way of Nigeria. Now, film and movies and writing, was that something that you took in school?
I started from the street.
Okay.
It's not what I did in Nigeria.
Yeah.
My talent was a local talent.
Got you.
Because I was glued to TV, watching the way they make videos, reading books and all that. I started like that before I came to America.
Yeah.
When I came here, I worked with different TV stations. I worked with MSNBC as a cameraman. Okay. CN8, Cablevision, as the only black man in the team with 25. It feels fun. But anytime I'm on location, I feel like I'm carrying a whole continent behind me. Right. It's tough. But anyway, I went to NYU, worked in NYU, took a lot of classes, and that was able to propel me to me understanding the techniques and the theatrics of television culture or television production generally.
Got you. Now, going back on still, okay, at what point in your life did you realize that you were kind of going into film, into writing, into telling stories, into storytelling, let's put it that way?
Okay, I know I didn't talk about the story on the writing. Writing was never my thing. Okay. And I'm still learning. Okay. Sometimes I don't see myself as a writer. I see myself as a storyteller.
Gotcha.
I know how to tell stories. I know how to interpret stories. Right. My biggest thing, or the theme, the slogan of my company, Media Definition, is bring your vision. Let us interpret it for you. Okay. Because I'm very always conscious about what the audience wants to see. What is the take home point for them? Why should they watch what I'm expressing? Right. You know, that has always been my fundamentals on everything that I do. Yeah. But when it comes to this project, I just realized that I started writing. At first, I wrote the first 40 episodes. Then I had a couple of people critique it. They later let me understand that I was writing this book from a manly perspective.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it was too masculine.
Okay.
Because a lot of men I know a lot of men are not going to read this book.
Right.
I know that.
Right.
But maybe they can relate with it
Yeah.
through televisions and all that.
Yeah.
But maybe I shouldn't say that. Men should
Well,
read it.
I mean, there are
being
learning.
I'm being
There are
honest.
learning behaviors also that even
Yes.
we as men are starting to get accustomed to.
Yes,
Right.
because that's our weakness. Even when you ask some groom,
Yeah.
based on my research, when you ask some groom,
Right.
the color of their wedding or the theme of their weddings, they don't know.
Right.
Like, yeah, whatever she wants, I'll give to her.
There you go.
It's funny how
Yeah.
how grooms
Yeah.
mindset is when it comes
Indeed.
to wedding day. But
Indeed.
anyway, so I later got myself. I hired a writing coach. I had two strong women who were able to tailor me on how to write.
Gotcha.
The niche, the USP, the unique selling factor.
There you go.
The differential factor.
Unique selling factor.
Yes.
Those are acronyms to know. Huh?
USP.
Yeah.
The USP on how to write a book, the differential factor, or how I can stand apart from every other writer, because we looked through every bookshelf in America,
Right.
and we realized there's nobody that's doing what I'm doing right now.
Gotcha.
Currently, I have more wedding stories than anybody in the world right now.
So you pioneering an industry. You definitely probably going in the right way. And this is the era of television and video. There's a video vlog. Give us your social media so that people know where they can get in touch with you.
All right, that will be www.weddingwhoops.com. We're all in social media, and just check us out, follow us, touch us, like us, follow us.
Yeah.
Follow us.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, hey,
Could be
this
missing
little
something
child,
good.
this little baby needs the village backing. Let's go.
There you go. And let's keep this village going. So that is Mr. Reward James right here with the unique selling point. Unique selling point. Major acronyms, but definitely a story of resilience, a story of actually therapy,
Yeah.
self-therapy.
Yeah, we have a lot we're constipated when it comes to
And
this.
there's plenty coming. A lot more left where this one
This
is
is
coming
50.
from.
I
This
just
is
put
only
50
50.
there because 50 is good for television.
There you go.
I think we're about 75. If
There
I,
you-
if I count.
There you go. And we hope that you are promising us that you'll definitely bring us the remaining stories as soon as you put them out. And because this is Diaspora Central, and Diaspora Central is home for you.
Yes.
My friend, thank you for coming in and spending these few minutes with us. We know that you are busy men and you have to go. And we also have to go because after all, we have kept our audience for an hour. But remember, go in and check in. Reward James, Wedding Whoops.
50 things not to do on your wedding day. Buy a copy on Amazon so we can produce more episodes for you.
There you go. Support your own, because remember, if you don't do it, no one else will. Until next time.
Thank you, Gil. I
I'm
really
Gil.
appreciate you. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Love
sir.
you, my brother.
Yeah,
Thank you.
love you right back, man. I appreciate you. Until next time, peace.